Challenge President Obama for the White House. He is the president and the CEO of the New Voice, Inc. He's also a radio talk show host in Atlanta. Herman Cain is back. Herman, good to see you. And by the way,
Sean,
the former
thank
CEO
you.
of Godfather's Pizza, which I love.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks, Sean. Good to be on.
Good to see you. All right, let's start with, you have put together an exploratory committee. You're considering a run. You've never been elected to office before.
No, I haven't.
And you think you can beat Barack Obama?
I believe I can get the nomination and beat Barack Obama for the following reasons. The public, this sleeping giant, has awakened, and they are ready for an unconventional candidate. People, I believe, Sean, are ready for a problem solver and not just another politician. So whenever people say I don't have a chance because I've never held public office, my response is, well, everybody in D.C.'s held public office. How's that working out for you? What we saw on November 2nd, I believe, Sean, is going to continue all the way into 2012.
You know, it's interesting, and there's this new group, Anita Moncrief, and I spoke to her early today, and she's formed a new group in Houston, the first black Tea Party in the country. You spoke at a lot of Tea Party events. You were one of the most popular and requested speakers for these events. Yes. But all the charges were that the Tea Party's racist. The Tea Party is bigoted. Your response?
John, the facts are, I have spoken at probably 50 or more Tea Party rallies and events across the country. There's no racism there. This is just an attempt on the part of the mainstream media to try and silence the Tea Party movement because they don't know how else to fight it. I mean, I've been in probably, 24 different states giving speeches to Tea Party people. And the thing that resonates with them all the time is limited government, let the free market system do what it does, and Washington, D.C., stop being so arrogant and listen to the people. And like you said in that somebody said in the previous segment, the arrogance of Harry Reid to say he won't even bring the repeal legislation to the floor, this is what's fueling this sentiment across the country, and this is what, based upon a lot of other factors, I formed this presidential exploratory committee. I got to leave it there, Sean, because if I say any more than that, you wouldn't have 15 million unemployed people. You'll have 15,000,001.
You lose your job being on the That's unfair, by the way. If I ever wanted to run, I'd like to be able to keep my job and run at the same time, but the laws don't allow that to happen, which, by the way, is never going to happen. All right, it was interesting. I read an article about you, and somebody came up to you and said, were you arrogant enough to be president? Now, I know you a long time. I know you're anything but arrogant, but I thought the question was interesting. Your response?
My response, when this gentleman asked me, was I arrogant enough to be president, I simply said, I am confident enough, because there's a fine line between being confident and arrogant. And people who've looked at my career and all of the different positions that I have been in, and especially if you talk to people who have worked with me, they will tell you that I have been consistent throughout my over 40 years in business. Confidence is what people are looking for in leaders. They're also looking for their leaders to be able to identify the right problem, set the right priorities, surround yourself with the right people, and then execute the plans that's going to get some solutions. People are sick and tired of hearing about the problems. We know what that is. Yeah. They want to hear solutions, and that's what I've been talking about.
Well, you were the head of you're CEO of Godfather's Pizza. One of the things that frustrates me about a lot of the people that go to Washington, they've never worked in the private sector. They never had to pay unemployment insurance and health insurance and workman's comp and pay the light bill and pay the rent and the lease and the mortgage and all this stuff. You know, in all my years, I started out in the restaurant business. For years I worked there, starting out as a dishwasher at 12, cook, chef, bartender. Yes. Worked in all the construction trades, had my own business, had employees. I guarantee you, your first interview in the liberal media, they're going to say, you know, Herman Cain, what experience do you have to be the president? You're laughing, but you know it's coming. What experience do you have? Wait a minute, hang on, I'll play an anchor. Mr. Cain, what experience do you have to be the president of the United States? You've never been elected to office.
Never being elected to office is a good thing. My experience is solving problems and growing businesses, creating jobs, and making this country much stronger. That's what my experience is. The fact that I haven't had political experience, the American people are saying that's okay. That could be a good thing.
Yeah, did I read it correctly? Is Ann Coulter saying that if Chris Christie doesn't run, you're her choice?
Yes, she did. It shocked me just as much as it shocked some others. She, as you know, she really likes Chris Christie, but she tweeted on her Twitter account today, and she quite honestly said that I would be someone that she could support if Chris Christie doesn't run.
You know,
so it was quite a nice compliment.
Our own Mike Huckabee here on the Fox News channel said, listen, it's probably going to be a lot tougher to beat Barack Obama than some people think. Do you think it's an easy task, a difficult task? Do you think he's, do you think he's going to rebound in terms of his popularity?
I believe he will be difficult to beat, but I think that he has some vulnerabilities. His vulnerability is, number one, the first 2 years of his administration, in all candor, has demonstrated his lack of problem-solving experience, his lack of truly understanding the economy, and his inability to surround himself with the right people. You've shown the statistic on your show, Sean, that only 7% of the appointees by Barack Obama have had a real job. That's a problem. So if you don't surround yourself with people who've had a real job, and you've never had a real business job where you had to solve problems and sign a paycheck, guess what? His whole administration has been at a big disadvantage. That's one of his biggest vulnerabilities, and I think running against somebody like me will highlight that weakness in his experience.
All right, Herman Cain, we're going to follow this very closely. Good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Shane. Thanks a lot, Sean.
Now,